how good is it to do press for a tour? I got to ask you, man. Tour press. Finally, you're talking about going on the road, man.
It's actually, you're right. Like it's just weird to like get the calendar.
Yeah.
Like to see the calendar and go, Indiana, Ohio. You're like, wow, this is it's all coming back to me now. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, this we tell people we're excited to go on the road, but it's it's just I think that it's cool that there's a little bit of optimism, I think, in the market and coming out at the end of this thing, and that's good news. Yeah,
it's like there's hope. I mean, we've been wanting this for a year. We finally have it, and but you guys have done drive-in shows already. So I mean, how is a drive-in show? I would assume that the fans are a little bit further away. There's not a mosh pit up against the stage that like there would be at like the Fillmore or like at these
right.
At a theater, anything like still a theater tour, just not the same kind of theater, but
Well, that's true. I mean, it is different. It's kind of like people always ask, is it do you have to change anything about your set to play at an arena versus a club like the Fillmore?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really change your set, but
mm-hmm.
There are little things that you alter a little bit. You connect with fans. Naturally speaking, you just notice it. It's different in an arena. But then there's the intimacy of the club. But I've always found that I try to kind of just do a little bit of things different to always make sure to connect with fans. I mean, to me, that's all that a great show is about. I shouldn't say
mm-hmm.
all, but the most important part of the show is that fans feel that they connected with you. You're in the moment together. There's something transcendent happening. I hope it's music helping you out of your problems or
mm-hmm.
it's spoken to you in some kind of a way. And we're all there together. And so when we did drive-in gigs last year, we only did 3. But I remember thinking, is it going to be impossible to do that when people are standing outside of a car?
Right.
And but I just found that, you just got to shift your mind a little bit
mm-hmm.
and realize that what people are feeling is, they're just glad to do anything that seems a little bit like their old life.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going through hard stuff. And going to a concert, even if you're farther away outside of a vehicle, that's a lot like, in my view, one of the best things that we ever did in life. Go to see a rock and roll concert.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that you shift your mind a little bit and you still connect with people and you make sure you have that moment with them. That's all it's really about for me.
Yeah, and I've watched some of the drive-in shows on YouTube because when I'm at work, even though I should be working, I'm watching concerts on YouTube still, and it's the same set list. It's essentially kind of the same show. It's just in a different type of venue, so.
Yeah, that's right. You kind of go, okay, it's still going to be hopefully the best show you can do. The energy is the same. I mean, or I certainly hope it's the same.
Right.
I think for some people they would go, well, it's just kind of different, so you perform differently. I kind of view it like, no, either way, you give people what they paid for, and you try to make it as normal as
mm-hmm. possible,
even though the world is a little different than it used to be.
Same fan base coming to the show that always does, so you just, adapt.
That's right. Yeah, you can hear them singing out there.
Yeah.
You can hear them singing.
Right? You guys did a couple shows last year during I think you did a show over in Sturgis at the biker rally, I think, and you did a couple. You guys finished the From Ashes to New Ledger tour, or that leg of it last year. I mean, was that a weird feeling playing shows in just finishing that tour up in the middle of the pandemic in those settings, or I mean, how was that?
It was a little weird. I remember. It was. You know what I really hate about culture right now? I hate that every single thing you say is going to make somebody angry. I'm kind of like, can everybody calm down? But
right,
that was already, that was already happening then, but not like it is now.
Yeah.
And I remember the pandemic was happening. Bands were canceling their tours, and for me, and I'm honestly not trying to make anybody mad, but I was like, I'm not going to cancel my tour because of it. Like, if people don't want to come, they don't have to come, but I'm not going to cancel. And I remember it was, it may have been Billboard.com. I can't remember who was doing the article. And they asked if they could interview me because everybody they interviewed was like, the right thing to do is to cancel. And I was like, I'm not scared at all. I still hug fans, let them sing in my microphone.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is their moment. I mean, all these people really wanted to meet me, which is amazing to me. But
right.
Yeah, come shake my hand, give me a hug. I'm not afraid of this. But what was weird was when all of a sudden it became clear, like the whole world is actually going to shut down. That's when it kind of hit me like, wow, I guess this is a bigger deal than I thought. And we only had to cancel 2 shows. We almost made it to the very end of the tour. And then those 2 shows, you know, the state of New York actually, you know, demanded you close. So it was a little strange. But what's really weird now is to think, like, do you remember a year ago when you, this is me talking to myself, right. John, do you remember a year ago when you thought we were almost going to go back on tour? Like a 2-week break.
Yeah.
Wait, 4 weeks and then we'll be back at it, guys.
Yeah.
You know, wrong again.
Right. Yes. Well, I think there's one thing that's for sure is like fans who see concerts on a regular basis. A lot of fans, I think, at the end, like towards the end of touring, got in the mindset of they're coming through. I'll see them next time. I think that mindset's gone now. Like, no, they're back.
Well,
let's go.
That's true, actually.
You know, like, let's
Do
go.
not count on tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Used to say, tomorrow is promised to no one.
Exactly. And, of course, now my daughter is 9, and she picked the pandemic where there's no concerts to be like, I discovered Skillet, and I want to see them in concert. I was like, oh, you discovered them now. Right. Okay. Now. Great. So she has discovered Skillet and makes me play nothing but Skillet in the car. And we have a 45-minute drive one way every day. And it's just, I'm like, God, sweet.
Too much Skillet.
No. I've got her into Awake through Victorious. Now I can work through Self-Titled up through Collide. We're getting there. It'll happen.
Wow, that is unreal. Man, I love to hear that.
Yeah, right? But I wanted to ask, releasing the book. I mean, there is so many things that you've been able to do over the last few years with the graphic novel, the Skillet video game online, releasing the book. There's so many things that you hadn't done before that you've done over the last few years. How was writing the book and being able to release that, basically self-publish it and release it on your own and have it go over as well as it did?
Well, it was really cool. You know, I knew that I wanted to write the book a few years back, and I was thinking, okay, you know, never done this before. And then it's funny because you're kind of like wrestling with it's not really insecurity. It's just more like a little bit of trepidation. Sort of like, I'm not insecure, but does anyone really want to read a book from me? And why would they?
I had something like that a few weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not even insecurity. It's actually a decent question. Why would anybody care what I have to say? But I did know that, hey, I think I should go for it. So I actually wrote 90% of the book was written actually, I finished it in December of 2019, almost the whole book.
Wow.
So I finished it before the pandemic. I wrote it in over like 13 countries. And part of the reason that I started writing on the road is because I was just noticing the same things about culture. Everywhere that I went, in every country, Russia, Japan, Australia, it's not like this is an American phenomenon. It's like the whole world really is wrestling with the foundations, the philosophical foundations of what they believe and why they believe it. And so I just thought, you know, I need to write this book. And so I wrote it, mainly all of it on the road. And then the pandemic happened, and I spent a few more months trying to get a publisher. And in the end, just nothing happened. And I was like, just screw this. I'm publishing it myself. And so I just released it on my own. And I'm really thrilled that there were so many people that, in the end, didn't want to read it. I didn't think they'd want to. So I was thrilled that they did, you know, and I hope that they like it. So I really have made the most of the pandemic in terms of being home, being a part of, family life, being a part of my church, and studying and reading and writing my book. And I've spent a lot of time doing interviews for the book and whatnot. Right. So, I'm kind of a productive person, but I'm not going to sit around in general. But
same here, yeah.
I've made the most of it, but I am looking forward to getting back to what I would call normal life. Right.
Which your normal life is not normal life for us. So, know. I mean, did the popularity of Cooper's stuff with the podcast help with the confidence of releasing the book on your own? Like, people are tuning into the podcast and want to hear it, so maybe people do. Did that have anything to do with it?
Oh, I certainly think that the podcast helped, and when I first started thinking, maybe I'll write a book or maybe I'll do a podcast, it was all kind of tied in together towards, all right, I'm going to begin to share my thoughts on culture and religion and this and the other, and maybe there will be some people that want to hear that, but I didn't really know how many really would, to be honest. So I definitely think the confidence of going, hey, I'm publishing this thing myself, certainly there was some sort of fan base already watching Cooper stuff. So I thought, all right, this is striking a nerve, at least with some amount of people. And the book is so, obviously religious that it's not really something I'd want to promote through Skillet because, Skillet is kind of a different animal. And I thought, I'd somehow like this to live on its own. Not that anybody can ever separate John Cooper from Skillet, but still, I'd like it to have its own sort of vibe, own identity, if you will. So it was a unique kind of adventure, but I've really enjoyed it.
Nice. I got to ask, man, going out with Colton and Jordan on this tour, I'm sure it wasn't hard to find bands and artists that wanted to go do a tour. I'm sure everybody would have said, let's go, but to have those guys, not just artists like them, but people like them on the road with you for this first full tour leg in over a year, how much peace does it bring knowing that you've got this group of people going out?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that plays into that. Sometimes you go, man, do I want all rock bands, or do we want to mix it up? You never know what to do. And I thought, going back at this, it would be cool to have artists not like me. I'm kind of a fan of those kind of tours. It's eclectic. You get multiple kinds of fans in, and hopefully we each can, make new fans.
Right.
So, and that could be really cool. And so, yes, Colton and Jordan, I toured, of course, with both of them before, and actually multiple times with Colton. And a pretty good friend. So I am excited about being on tour with people that I know, people that I trust, and that's always good. There's a comfort of being on the road is really hard, and there's a comfort level once you tour with somebody and you like them. It's kind of a comfort level of okay, this is somebody that I like, and I trust with being around my kids.
Yes.
I mean, it might sound silly, but it's not, is it? It's real life. Like, good, my kids can hang out with
I have kids. I get it. I have two more on the way, man. I get it. Like, got to have people that like kids,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Couple quick questions. How excited were you to have Dead Man Walking finally get freaking released after playing it on the Breaking Benjamin tour?
I know.
So much.
That's a good memory you have. I just loved the song, and I was like, this is going to be like one of my favorite songs on the album. And then it ends up, the label's like, hey, we don't think we're going to put that on. What do you think? And I was like, well, if I'm the only one that loves it this much, I guess we just don't. And I'm thrilled that we ended up releasing it because I just love that song, and I love what it's about. I love the beat. Yeah. It's old. It's a little old school. It's got a little bit of that old zombie 9-inch kind of vibe, which I thought was kind of cool. So it's good that it's finally out. Long time coming.
Fight the Fury, new music coming at any point in the future?
Oh, good. I hope so. I think that's one of the funny things about the pandemic is, and I don't think this is unique to me or musicians. I think for lots of people, the pandemic sort of put just like what's the word? It put everybody in limbo. It was almost like everybody put their lives on hold for a year. And a lot of people, you know what I really noticed? Because I got super productive during the pandemic, but a lot of people actually did the opposite. So they were like, no, I'm home, and because I'm home, I'm not even going to do what I need to do because no one cares. And, they put on 50 pounds, and then the pandemic's ending, and they're like, I guess I need to learn how to work again. And it was a little bit of that way with like the music, because I'm like, okay, I thought Skillet would be touring. And then right now in 2021, maybe I'd work on some new Fight the Fury music. But since Skillet hadn't toured, I guess that's in limbo, and now we're starting where we left off. It's just very strange. Yeah. But we've been working on new Skillet music because really, what you really need is you want to put out a little bit of new material, and then come back out like with a right hook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Come out swinging. Yeah. So. You guys have obviously Legendary was the theme song on WWE Raw. You're a I know you and Seth big wrestling fans.
Yeah, it's cool.
Have you paid attention to AEW at all? What do you think of that? Would you guys like to have your music there as well?
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I don't follow it.
Right.
But everything I've seen, I was like, man, this is kind of next level.
It is.
Am I wrong? Or
no,
it
is what we've been craving for so long. It's just it's like wrestling was back in the day, where it's like that you can't like breathe almost. What you're like, what's gonna happen? It's so cool.
I thought they did a really good job. I need to get a little bit more up on it because truthfully, I'm not up.
Right.
But I did see it twice, and I remember thinking, man, this is next level. So I need to get a little bit more into it, but absolutely. I mean, I'm next level. Let's go.
Right. Man, dude, John, this has been awesome. I got to tell you, though, during the pandemic, I personally got involved with a professional wrestling company, had my first 2 matches. I'm not very good, but Skillet is my entrance song.
Dang, that's so cool.
You guys are
what song?
Well, there's a lot I wanted to use, but I picked Save Me because my character didn't want to be in the match, so I needed some help, and I didn't get it, so I thought Save Me was perfect. But, I had to tell you, Skillet was my entrance song for my 2 matches.
Oh, man, I love to hear that. And I've never, done it, but I did a video, like a faux wrestling video one time we did, and we went into the ring and did drop kicks and all that, and it was really fun. But I was really surprised how hard it is on your body.
Yeah. My
accurate.
Yeah, my finishing move is a roll-up schoolboy pin from behind, so I don't get hurt. So,
man, I tell you. Well, I was like, this is no joke. I mean, you see some of these guys doing it at 30, 35, 40 years old. I mean, God, it's brutal on your body.
Yeah, or Sting in his 50s, man. I don't know how the man can walk, dude. But,
amazing.
Man, John, thank you so much. This has been absolutely awesome. It's what I needed. Thank you for taking time today. Good luck on the drive-in tour. It is good to have touring finally back in some capacity, man. Stay safe on the road. Feels good.
I hear you.
Well,
thank you, brothers. Yeah, it does feel good to say it. It feels good to hear it. Anyway, hopefully I'll see you down the road. You guys keep rocking and
Absolutely.
Be safe.
You too, man. We'll see you.